Hey Cadillac fans, Daniel here, and I'm finally doing a how-to on replacing the grille on your 2014 to 2019 Cadillac CTS. This is great for 2014 owners that want to do the updated badging, or anyone that wants to do the mesh grille style. Also, I'm doing a giveaway today, another carbon fiber V-Sport license plate frame. If you want to learn how you can win it, keep watching. For those of you updating your 2014 CTS to the newer style crest, you have to replace 3 parts. Not only do you have to get a badge, you want to get the right one, either the adaptive cruise control badge or the non-adaptive cruise control badge. You need to replace the grille center section. The grille can be updated to the 2015 or 16, which has 3 chrome slats, or the 2017 to 2019, which has 4 chrome slats. It's up to you. It's also suggested that you replace the grille surround, because the surround has this little half circle notch cut out from the 2014 and it just doesn't look right with the newer badges. Now, any 3rd gen Cadillac owner may want to update to the mesh grille. It looks more like the CTS-V, and that's pretty cool. It's available from many vendors, including Savage Cadillac Parts. You can run that one without a badge at all and the adaptive cruise control works. Or if you do use a badge, be sure to use the correct adaptive cruise control or not, and the correct mounting that comes with the grille. Some people have said that they need to cut out the mesh behind the adaptive cruise control badge so they don't get random adaptive cruise messages. So in this video, I'm actually not replacing my grille with a mesh one. I actually like the OEM grille. I've got my chrome slats blacked out with gloss black vinyl, and most of the front end here is protected by paint protection film, and so it looks really nice, except the grille has definitely taken a beating. So I am gonna take this 85,000 mile grille and put on one that I got from a friend that has, I think, about 20,000 miles on it. Plus, on that grille, the chrome slats seem to be a little darker, which may match my black chrome grille surround. This was an optional grille surround you can get from GM, but they don't make it anymore and they're becoming really hard to find. But if the slats don't look good, I'll probably just black them out again. Now, when replacing the grille, you do have to remove the bumper, and so it's a good time to replace other things that require removing the bumper to replace them. For example, these chrome bezels, they're called the hockey sticks. Yeah, I'm going to replace those because they've certainly taken a beating. Now, on the back of these, they say black chrome, but folks, they're not. They're still bright chrome. They're brighter than my grille surround here. But I decided to buy some aftermarket ones on eBay because they were half the price of the OEM ones. But when they showed up, they were actually black chrome. They're definitely darker than the originals. So if you order aftermarket ones, be prepared for possibly darker pieces, but I can't seem to find any that actually say they're darker or lighter. For those of you that just want to wrap these pieces, this is also a good time to pull those out. It's a lot easier to wrap them when they're not on the car. You can really get it around the edges. Another part that's showing a lot of wear is this plastic grille here. Not only is the sun hitting it, but rocks as well. So I got new ones from Cadillac on those. They're fairly cheap. Lastly, I wanted to replace these vertical running lamps here, but they're pretty expensive at $300 to $400 each. So I'll probably eventually just wet sand them down, polish them, and clear coat them like a normal headlight restoration. But I'll save that for another video. I didn't put paint protection film on those, unfortunately, like I did my headlights, which are still looking great. Now, all of the part numbers and the links to the vendors and such are all going to be down in the description. So if you have any questions, look down there first. Okay, now what about that V-Sport license plate frame? It was donated by a previous V-Sport owner, Michael. Originally, these were made by Jerry Terry, an OG V-Sport Facebook group member. You can't get these anymore. They're real carbon fiber. They look really nice. Michael donated this one used, but I've polished it up and ceramic coated it. It looks great. I think you're gonna love it. If you want a chance to win it, I'm gonna pick randomly from commenters below. Anybody who writes, "Show me your grill" in the comments will be entered to win when this video hits 200 likes. I'll post up in the comments below when I have that drawing. All right, let's get to installing this grill. It's gonna take you about 3 to 4 hours. It's not hard. It's just a lot of screws and bolts, kind of tedious in that way. If you have power tools, that's the key to making this go way faster. Let's get started. For this installation, you'll need the following tools: a Phillips head screwdriver, a ratchet or driver, power preferred, T15 Torx bit, 7mm socket, 10mm socket, an extension of 6 to 12 inches, and some plastic trim pry tools. A jack and jack stands is preferred to lift the car, make things a little easier, and a cutting tool if you're going to be cutting out part of the mesh grille. Now I'm taking my wheels off just so you can see things better, but it's not necessary. First, we'll start by removing the engine sight shield. It's got 4 plastic retainers in the front and 2 on the sides. These you just lift the center section, and that allows the base section to be removed. You can remove the center section if you want to. For the side ones, my plastic trim tool wasn't good enough, so I'm using this metal one. Be careful not to use it and pry against your fender. You'll damage your paint for sure. Peel back some of the weather stripping next to the strut towers. There are 2 clips that hold it in. That is, if they're not broken already like mine. Now I'll remove the sight shield. Just grab near the hood latch and lift straight up. There's just a bunch of plastic clips holding it in. Now we need to remove these 8 10mm bolts from the top of the bumper. These just hold the top of the bumper in place. Use a blanket or a carpet like this to protect the bumper from the ground. All right, got the carpet down. We've unbolted the top. Now we got to remove screws. They're 7mm screws all along the front edge of the bumper here. Now we'll remove 3 T15 Torx screws from the wheel liner area. The other side. All right, we removed those fender liner screws so we can pull back the fender slightly so we can access 2 more bolts that are right here holding the bumper to the fender. So pull back the liner like that and you can see them right up here. The last thing holding the bumper at the top are these 10mm bolts. There's 1 on each side. You can see them bolted into the black plastic here. Once you remove those bolts, you need to slide out those little black plastic pieces. Now this little plastic piece was here like this, and it does inhibit the bumper from coming off. So once you remove the screw here, it may help to try to wiggle this out first, which is what I did not do. Okay, the bumper is ready to come off, but if you try to pull it off now, it's gonna get hung up on a big electrical connector because the power for the car is connected to the bumper to power things like these, you know, object sensors, the lights, things like that. So we'll wanna disconnect that first, and that is located back here. And it could be easier if you remove the underbody shield, but I think you can do it here if you pull back the wheel well liner. In fact, you may wanna pull 1 more screw off, and then you can get to it. You may want to also remove these screws here, which can allow more movement to get better access. All right, to get to that electrical connector, it's up in here. So that white part there rotates downward, and then we can pull the connector off. So it's already pulled out slightly. Move it completely around, and then pull the connector off. All right, now it's time to remove the bumper. Use a thin plastic pry tool to slide under each headlight to release the bumper cover from the car. Gonna lift slightly up and out. There we go. All right, with the bumper off, we can now remove the energy absorber and unclip this wiring harness. Now we need to remove the foam, and it's held on by these little metal clips here. So you need to pop these guys off. Next, we need to remove two plastic pieces on each side of the grill. This is the intake vent. It directs air directly into your air box. Two Phillips head screwdrivers remove that, and then there's this other piece here, not even sure why it's there. The grill is held in by these 6-7 millimeter screws. Let's remove those. All right, stop. Just wait a minute, listen up while I continue the video. Now, I've removed the bumper before. It's just been a few years and I forgot an important tip. You may want to consider taping up your grill surround to minimize getting scratched. And in the video here, I removed the grill surround through the back of the bumper. Don't do that. Remove the grill surround by unclipping all the chrome clips, pull the surround out the front, and then unclip all the black clips to pull the grill out the rear. Because I forgot to take these steps, I ended up scratching my surround, and I really regret it. So if we want to remove the whole surround, we've got to get all these clips. Okay, so now we have the grill surround and the grill. Now we need to remove this badge because this is the adaptive cruise control badge. The one on the other grill is not. This is pretty easy. There are very small clips here and you can just gently pop them off. Don't be aggressive because they break just like that one did. So be very gentle if you can. All right, so that's off of there. All right, now that we've put the badge onto the new grill, we need to put the surround back on and then we'll just install it back into the bumper. All right, so we'll put grill in here first. All right, the grill's swapped out. Let's put those plastic pieces on each side and then we'll finish up with the absorber and wiring harness. All right, like I said, I'm going to replace those small plastic grills as well as the hockey sticks. If you're not doing it and you just want to jump ahead to finish the grill install, go to this time right here. All right, so the hockey sticks are attached to the plastic grill. You can see the hockey stick attachment points with these silver clips here. They're attached to the plastic grill, which is clipped onto the bumper itself. You can't get it out completely unless you remove this side marker. This is pretty easy. There's only 4 T20 Torx screws. We'll remove those first. There's also one of the wire looms here. You need to pop that off of the grill. It's a tough one. All right, so now this can come off. Now we need to get the plastic grill off. I'm gonna have to just position it here while I work on this. Since these are plastic clips, you'll just want to flex it with your trim tool to release them the best you can. And it seems that this one silver clip here is required to be removed. All right, so that's out. Now to take the hockey sticks out, we got to remove the rest of these 1, 2, 3, 4 metal clips. Again, these are, I thought were only on the hockey stick, but apparently also holding the plastic trim on. All right, got those off. All right, there we go. Now let's get our new pieces and install those. Check out the difference in the color from these aftermarket hockey sticks. These are definitely black chrome, and these are really beat up. Put our little clips back in. All right. Now these are a little harder to lock into place, so you'll really want to make sure they're fully seated, otherwise it's not going to look good on the front side. And it may help to flex the bumper a little bit if it's not fitting quite right. So looking at this part right here, I don't think that's fully seated, and it's pretty tough to get it in there. So I'll just keep working. All right, now that that's fully seated, we're gonna put the 4 screws back into our running lights. We have to put the wire loom back into the black plastic grill. All right, now just repeat for the other side. All right, now that we got the grill on, we're gonna put the energy absorber back in. That's a styrofoam piece, and reattach all the wire loom points. And then before we put the bumper back on, we should probably clean up all this stuff. This is one of the few times you're gonna get a chance to do that. Okay, absorber goes like this. These slots right here go on the plastic grill. There we go. All right, your 4 metal clips. All right. Now before you bring this bumper back on, remember you got the electrical connector I got down here. It needs to slide up through here so it can get all the way to the other side of the connector. So I'll snake the connector in there. Once I've done that, I'm going to align these top sections here with the fender, and of course this goes under the headlight. And then I'm going to carefully maneuver it into place, and then up here there's a couple of tabs we can hook the bumper on to hold it for us. Make sure the connector is routing. Okay, connector feels good. Now the bumper's hooked onto the top. I can do some adjustments to get it fully seated and get that connector attached. Reattach this connector. Make sure the little latch on the connector is fully seated. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems with all this stuff here. And if you do have problems, you know why. All right, now you remember these little plastic pieces here, they go where the fender and the bumper meet near the headlight. So these go in. You see there is this narrow bit. There's a little slot for it to go into there. And then here, this was a tab. That's already been broken off. Not a big deal. There is a bolt that holds it in. If you want to replace these, the part number is right on there. So I'm going to slide that in there. And then it's supposed to click in to this little white plastic piece here, but with the broken tab, not going to happen. So that's going to hold the bumper close to the fender here and keep this gap thin. Finish the top of the bumper with these 8 10mm bolts. Okay, so now we got to put these 2 10mm bolts back in to hold the bumper to the fender. To get the second bolt in, it may help to keep the first one loose so you have some adjustment. And boy, this extension is really important. All right, that's one side done. Let's do the other. Okay, fender liner screws are next. All right, now let's repeat for the other side. All right, now we gotta put all those screws along the bottom, and if you have a splitter, you wanna reattach that. I broke mine a while back and I haven't got around to getting a new one. All right, one last step, and that is putting the upper splash shield back on here over the engine area. That's pretty easy, so let's get it done. Weather stripping, if it doesn't have broken clips like mine. Got a clip on this side. You have these little barbed Christmas tree clips. They go onto the sides up here near the strut towers. Then we'll do our little push-in clips. All right. All right, folks, that's it for swapping out the grill, whether you're updating or maybe putting in the mesh grill. It's all pretty much the same, except maybe with the mesh grill, you'll need to use a fine-tooth jigsaw or a Dremel to cut out some of the mesh behind your Adaptive Cruise emblem. But if you're not using an emblem, it should be fine. I think everyone's been pretty happy with just a blank grill with no issues. Now, I'm pretty happy with my new grill. The slats seem to be a little darker to match that black chrome grill surround, and now I have black chrome hockey sticks. Glad to get rid of these. They're so pitted from the rocks and the plastics all worn out. So it's a great refresh for the front end of my car. I've got lots of other maintenance things coming up with the car. You know, things are breaking, 85,000 miles. We got things to maintain now, less mods to do. So be on the lookout for more CTS videos coming in the future. And if you haven't, put down in the comment section, show me your grill. You better do it if you want that carbon fiber V-Sport license plate frame. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future Cadillac videos. Thanks so much for watching the Jeff Yoli channel. We'll see you next time.